All right, folks. So this is part 2 of graphing from standard form. Hopefully you didn't find that first example too crazy. Our second example right here, we're going to do 4x minus y equals 8. Because I know that when we have something like this, that can confuse a few students, right? So if we want to graph this right here, right, step 1, right, is going to be finding our y-intercept. I just like to put my steps on the right so we don't have to refer back to our notes to a different page. Find y-intercept. And again, like I said previously, to find your y-intercept, you substitute 0, where you replace your x with 0. Okay? So this is going to be 4 times 0, and changing it to red. So that you see it's clear that I'm taking that x, I'm getting rid of it, and I am replacing it with 0. Okay? So remember 0 times 0 times any number is 0. So effectively, this term is just going to disappear, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. It just leaves that negative y equals 8. Okay? So I'm going to rewrite what I got left. Negative y equals 8. And then hopefully someone is going to remember that there is an invisible 1 in front of a variable if it does not already have a coefficient. And please remember, coefficient just means the number in front of a variable. Okay? So with this negative 1, right, I'm going to, well, I can't have a negative y. So I need to take that negative and somehow get it to the other side and get it away from the left side. So mathematically, guys, all I do is divide by that negative 1. It's going to cancel that negative on the right. Sorry, it's going to cancel the negative on the left. It's going to leave us with y equals negative 8, because 8 divided by negative 1 is just going to give us that negative 8. So that's kind of like the mathematical reason why that happens. You can just remember as a shortcut, folks, that if you have a negative y on the left side, all it does is change the sign of everything on the right side. Okay? So that's kind of your shortcut right there. So we have our y value when your x is 0. Okay? So when your x is 0, your y value is negative 8. So that right there, guys, is your y-intercept. Okay? And then step 2, right? We found our y-intercept. We found one point that we need, but again, to graph a line, because again, this is a linear equation. It's an equation that forms a line. We need to find the x-intercept to get that second point to graph the line. Okay? And so rather than replacing our x with 0, we're going to replace our y with 0. Okay? So it's going to end up being 4x minus 0 is equal to 8. So minus 0, that's just going to go away, right? Leaving us with 4x equals 8. Divide by 4 on both sides. And again, if you need to pause this at any point, please do. 8 divided by 4 gets you to x equals 2. So when your y value is 0, your x value is 2. And that gives us our x-intercept. Boom. Now we have our 2 points that we need to graph our line. There is that. And just so we have this all here, I'm going to do this very similar to what we had on the last one. Y-intercept is going to go here at 0, negative 8. And then your x-intercept is 2, 0 there. Okay, so y-intercept, 0, negative 8. I find that just kind of at negative 8 on my y-axis. That's my y-intercept. And then 2, 0 is right there on my x-axis. So that's 0, negative 8 right there. That's 2, 0 right there. Zoom in a touch, I suppose. Okay. And that's your line, right? Because it's a linear equation, it's going to form a line. And please glue that one into your notebook, okay? Okay. There you go. Yeah, I don't know. 2 examples of how to graph from standard form directly. Again, if you need to pause to make sure you got all the notes, that's the first part of the second page there. Pause if you need to. And then that's the second part of that second example right there. So pause if you need to. Hopefully, guys, that gives you the knowledge you need to complete the assignment that I have provided today. Once you are done with the assignment that Sub is passing out, please put it in the turn-in folders for your particular class. You guys know where those are at this point. I will be grading these, and hopefully you have been working. Yeah, that's it for the notes, guys. Thanks for listening. Hopefully that wasn't super boring.